Hi, my name is Reverend Donna, and I'm with Our Sacred Journeys, and I am looking forward to sharing a Good Friday message with you. I thought we'd start with prayer tonight. However, first I wanted to acknowledge that this year is different for me. Traditionally, over the last several years, I've shared a Good Friday message with two or three other people, and I've always enjoyed our collaboration and our time together. And this year, we're not able to do that, and I'm grateful to know that they are all in the perfect place, as am I, to where we feel called to serve. It's Lindsay Hunley with music, and Reverend Juanita Gardner, who would share the message with me, and Sylvia Hungerford, who's a practitioner at one of the Centers for Spiritual Renewal spiritual centers. And I'm very, very grateful to call them friends and colleagues. And again, I trust that they're exactly where they're called to be, as am I. And I just wanted to acknowledge that it feels a little different this year, and I'm accepting of that, because I truly, truly believe that we're anchored in love. No matter where we're at, we are all connected in love, heart-to-heart connections. So I'm going to turn within in prayer as I say thank you. Thank you for this time together. Thank you for that divine having its way through all of us. Thank you for the sacredness of today, of this week. Thank you for the opportunity to share a message and to recognize and know there's grace and love and compassion that's expressing itself tonight. I am so grateful for this time together. I know that whomever is listening to this message, whenever they do, are enfolded in love and light. I say thank you, sweet spirit. And so it is. I also wanted to let you know you might see 3 fur babies running around in the background and providing their own 2 cents into the message. So I just thought I'd let you know in case you do hear them. I wanted to share about Good Friday and what it means to me, because while many of us think of Good Friday and Easter week, Holy Week as more of a traditional Christian or Catholic practice, I do believe there's a very strong foundation in metaphysics, and which is why it is a time of year that I honor and I celebrate every year, incorporated into my spiritual practice. For those of you who know, I tend to follow Unity's booklet every year. This year it's called Release and Renewal, a spiritual practice for Lent, and it ends on Sunday. And I find a lot of seeds in there that I can pick from to truly chew on in my own spiritual practice. This year they encourage us to release something and renew something else. And I find that a very strong metaphysical practice of letting go of something to call for something new. And Good Friday is an example of that. It's leading up to Easter. And in Good Friday, it's about the darkness, it's about the sadness, it's about the crucifixion. And I wonder how all of that can relate to us in our personal lives. Charles Fillmore, in the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary, describes and defines crucifixion as this. He says it's the crossing out in consciousness of errors that have become fixed states of mind. So I wonder where in our consciousness we might have something that we have taken on as a true belief that maybe is no longer serving us. In the booklet, Unity booklet, they talk about going through some of your past sorrows or regrets today and seeing what it is that you're ready to let go of that's no longer serving you. Maybe they're past experiences, things that you've been holding on to for whatever reason, that maybe it's an opportunity to just surrender those and to allow the divine to express through you in healing and wholeness and the revelation of that truth and forgiveness work. Jesus taught on Good Friday the importance of forgiveness. On Maundy Thursday, during the Last Supper, he talked about the power of love and to love one another, love God and love one another. It was also the time where he knew he was about to be betrayed, when Judas was to betray him. He didn't know who it was, but he knew it was to happen. So I'm going to ask us to think about in our own life what the betrayal might be for us. How are we betraying ourselves? Is it through choices? Is it through regrets or thoughts? What is it, or actions that we're afraid to take? What is it that we're wanting to maybe experience in our own world as we're preparing for our Easter Sunday? To allow that divine to express itself through and as us, that Christ consciousness to come forth from within, to truly embody that Christ light, that embodiment of the Christ consciousness on Easter. Joseph Campbell has a quote that I just love, and I especially think of it during this time of year. He says, "We must let go of the life we've planned so as to accept the one that's waiting for us." I know we often talk about we're spiritual beings having a human experience. And yesterday I heard it said in a different way that I've been kind of chewing on, so I'm going to share it today. I was listening to Dr. Sue Morter in the Energy Codes, who is an author that I follow, and I read her stuff, and I resonate with her work quite a bit. And she says in the beginning of the book, she says, what if we are spiritual beings having a spiritual experience in a physical world? So I'm going to think about what that means for myself, and maybe chew on that a little bit in my spiritual practice. So if that feels something you're called to do as well, I invite you to. If not, go ahead and let it go. Because I truly believe this time of year is the time of spring, of rebirth, of transformation. I'll share more about that on Easter. But as we're moving into Good Friday and Easter, it's that time of darkness. It's that time of going into the quiet, the dark night of the soul. If you think about Jesus being in a cell and restrained and probably had time with his thoughts, I wonder what he's thinking. I wonder what we might be thinking if we went into that darkness as well to be reborn. You know, sometimes they say when you're in the darkness, you're being planted to bloom. And I think about that, especially at springtime and what that means. I think it's a powerful saying, a powerful opportunity to truly experience life anew, to make a different choice, to come out of that cocoon, that darkness, into something new. So I'm going to invite us to surrender into that which is calling itself forth from within us, the divine. I'm going to encourage us to think about what it is that we want to let go of, what we want to release from our consciousness, from our thoughts, from our beliefs, what no longer serves. Thank it for maybe it provided a service at some point, but maybe it's time to let it go. And to surrender into the divine, and by doing that, we are allowing God to express itself through us and as us in a way that it feels called to, like a higher idea. I'm going to encourage us to awaken that Christ within us, that Christ light, that Christ consciousness within us, to plant that seed, to allow that awakening to happen. And as I turn within in prayer, I give thanks for this time together. I give thanks for recognizing and knowing that forgiveness is a powerful spiritual tool, that it's healing, that it's revealing truth, that it's allowing that God self that's within us to say yes to life. I give thanks for this time together tonight, recognizing and knowing that as I enter into that darkness, I know the light illuminates from within, with clarity, with oneness, with love, with the sense of joy of what is to come. As I release my word into the law, I know tonight is blessed. I know it is good and very good. I give thanks. I say, thank you, God. I let it be. And so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you for listening tonight. I hope our fur babies weren't too distracting. And I wish you the best. And if we don't talk or we missed each other, have a blessed, blessed weekend and happy Easter. Namaste.